Jerry Tate. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes.
Good afternoon. My name is Jerry Tate, and I reside at 1352 Stonehead Drive, Birmingham, Alabama, 35235. I'd like to speak to just a couple of issues today that are concerning in the budget. One of them is dealing with education. It appears that our budget is allocating less than 1% of the amount toward education, which I think is sending the wrong message to our students and also our citizens. It appears that our priorities are appear to be a little bit misguided, that we want to make education the #1 priority, but our dollars doesn't say that. If you look at all of the surrounding cities that are around us that are succeeding academically, they prioritize more dollars toward education, substantially more than Birmingham does. And if you look at where we are academically compared to them, you can see that we're lacking a little bit. And if you look at where our dollar allocations are, I think you'll find out that that's one of the primary reasons. So we're asking the city council to work with the mayor to increase the dollars that are allocated toward education substantially. Let's at least make it match the surrounding areas. We can match what Hoover does. We can match what Mountain Brook allocates toward education. So I think that we need to send the right message to our students, and I think the council has that power. The budget is not approved until the council approves that budget. So I'm asking the council to not approve a budget until it allocates proper funding toward education. It will allow us more flexibility to hire more teachers to increase that academic achievement. If you ask teachers, what's one of the top reasons why our students are not achieving, you can see that a lot of it has to deal with classrooms that are overcrowded. We don't have enough counselors within our schools, and if we allocate more local dollars toward our education budget, it will allow our superintendent more flexibility to be able to hire those additional teachers like our surrounding area does, where you have those 14 and 15 student teacher ratios, so they're able to teach more and our students are able to learn more. Secondly, I want to speak to library, because I think the libraries and the schools are interconnected. First of all, I want to say kudos to my Counselor Scales, for securing the funds to allow Springville Road Library to purchase new furniture for our library this year, but also that needs to be extended to the downtown library. If you go in that library, it is in bad shape and in need of repairs. You have elevators that are not working, and when you look at the budget, the capital budget that is allocated through, I think it says here, from 2018 through 2022, you see very little money allocated toward capital improvement toward our Birmingham library system. So I think that sends the wrong message to our citizens. All of our students use those libraries every day in every neighborhood. You see that that's the after-school place where our students go to do their homework, where they go and they go to learn. So when they go in an area in a library that is not top-notch, I think it also sends the wrong message when they know that Birmingham has a substantial substantial dollars in our budget and it's not allocated properly. And lastly, I want to speak to a lot of concerns about our citizens in our district is also roads. We have to allocate what is needed to repair our roads. We cannot wait 5 years for those repairs to be done any longer. It's costing our cars, it's costing us in repairs, and it's really sending a bad message to our citizens. So we have to take care of the basics. So I'm asking the council to work with the mayor, and if it takes holding out on the budget till we get our priorities in order and we're funding the right thing, we will support the council in doing that. But we have to work together to make sure that we're prioritizing our dollars correctly. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
So thank you, Councilor Scales.
Mr. Tate, if you can come back. And while we're on the subject of education, first of all, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
So let me also mention this, a couple of things that you stated. First of all, the public needs to know that the council actually sent the budget back to the mayor because it wasn't balanced. You need to know that, first of all. We currently don't have a balanced budget, and I think Mr. President is going to speak to that in a more mass type of forum. And so it's hard to deliberate when, first of all, you don't have a completed package, okay? Correct. And we haven't had any response back. Okay, so Mr. President is nodding. We have yet to get a response back from the mayor. Specifically, there was a memo that was sent to him and his staff indicating that we don't even have a balanced budget. The one that was presented is not balanced at all. With that having said, let me say this too. I agree with you as it relates to the schools because where your heart is, that's where your treasure will be.
Yes.
And I've always said that. You can't talk about education and you're not willing to invest in it. What you're saying is that other outlining municipalities invest in their schools.
Correct.
And in their school system. The unfortunate reality that we're dealing with is that we don't have as much conversation as I think school board members need to be having with this body. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. But that's not just this board, that's just been an ongoing issue that I have always perceived that we needed to be talking better ourselves so that when we get to this point, it's not overwhelming to say, hey, well, we know we need ABC. That was one of the things we talked about in the budget yesterday. Even within the city of Birmingham, internally, if you don't know what the department's needs are as you go along, when you get to this point where you're talking about the budget, now it seems as though you're trying to finance something that you have no clue why you're doing it. Does that make sense?
I agree with you.
And the last thing I will say, a couple of things, two more things very quickly about the public library. You can't talk about crime in a city that every other day, or just about every day, we at least having one homicide in the city. You got to drive out ignorance through education. But seemingly, we're more interested in having events than we are, and I don't want to call them parties, I'm going to call it events in the city, as opposed to driving out this ignorance that's causing us to make poor choices in our communities. And because of that, I want to say this as it relates to the needs of the libraries. I was just there the other day with ours, and I'll be very candid with you. I think that we need to start turning our books into computers, period.
Yes.
I think we need to be just that technologically savvy to where that if you don't check out a book, you can read the book. Then I understand they got some things that are online, but it takes money.
It does.
And it takes money to even make it operate and function properly. I had to learn that we don't even have storage space at a regional library that is the second most widely used library in the city. We don't even have storage. So I'm amazed at what we don't have. Last thing's about roads. And I'm sure that folk know that Mayor told me I got on this last nerve 2 weeks ago. Well, I'm going to be getting on the first and last because I'm tired of these raggedy roads. And I know that you all are tired of them because I'm riding the same road. Our cars don't get excuses just because of the fact that we council members or elected officials. The bottom line is that the public needs to know. More than 5 weeks ago, we passed the contract for Dawn Construction to be able to start paving these roads. It's not the council's fault because that's an administrative function. Once we put the money in place, we've done all we can do. Now, I know some folk like to kind of play around with words. I'm just shooting it straight from the hip. It's on the mayor now. We allowed them to choose the roads. If I'm lying, then my council members, they can say I'm lying, okay? And I know they say, well, lie is a strong word. Well, God didn't call it a strong word. He called a lie. Okay, so bottom line is the council has put the funding in place for the roads. It's up to the mayor to make sure that now things are starting to get paved. So I said 2 weeks ago, it's a cookie cutter at this point, and I hate that we're doing it during an election year because it comes across like we're being disingenuous when that's actually not the spirit of the council. Because here's the deal, in short, and I'm done, Mr. President, anytime someone has a road disrepair, we're paying it out through the law department, through claims. So my thing was, well, why do you keep paying claims when you can use the money you would spend on the claims to just simply fix the road? So I just want you to know now, I'm telling you the facts. And if I'm lying, again, I stand to be corrected. But now if you're going to correct me on paper.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this council has passed the money. And you got the streets, and we agreed to allow them, as in the planning, engineering, and permits director and his staff, to select the roads. We couldn't have been more cooperative now, okay? And so now at this point, we in the wait and see with you too. But I'm one that I'm gonna keep talking, and I'm gonna get on first, last, third nerves, everything else. Is we gotta get these roads paved. So I'm in agreement with you. I'm done, Mr. President.
Councilor Tyson.
And to understand that we ride on the roads, the same roads y'all are riding on. I didn't know what a racket pinion was, but I know what it is now. I know it's cost $1,800 for me to make sure they wouldn't even give me no. I filled out that little paperwork, and they wouldn't even fix my car. I don't know why, but they tore it up on Denison. That road, it's ridiculous.
It is.
And that's the only way I can get home. I either go through Denison, Jefferson. We paved long, but I take a shortcut through Macmillan and Steiner. You're gonna get your car gonna get towed up either way it go. So don't think that we don't want these roads fixed. It's tearing up our car. Can't even get no one to come over your house no more because they don't want to come down Denison. They said, well, is it another way? They don't want to come down Denison. You know, we had some people want to change their zip code. I want to change the roads. I want.
I'm in agreement with you, Ms. Tyson.
Can't even go to church unless you get your car towed up on your way over there.
They heard me say that. Yeah. One thing I'll say, we have passed a budget for the roads, just the same as for the parks. And one of the reasons why we were voting yesterday for the ordinance to set the time and the reporting is because of these types of issues. This is the exact reason why. Now, unfortunately, there were council members that either took a walk and didn't vote at all, or that didn't show up, or some that, and I think one voted no. But that's the whole point, and that's why we're having this discussion now, so that we will be able to take the time to pass a balanced budget, but go through the budget, have an opportunity to hear from the public, and then come back and vote on a budget. And we will get it, we will set it, we will ultimately make it 60 days so that we'll have more time, so that the public can be more engaged, more involved, and we really do our best to address those issues as it relates to the community. So I just wanted to make sure I pointed that out, and I appreciate you coming, because just like Councilor Tyson on Denison, I have issues, Georgia Road, Higdon, all of that, all over, I mean, everywhere. And yeah, everybody does. And so we have passed, as Councilor Scales said, the mayor selected the roads, presented them to us, we approved them, we voted on it, we passed them. It took them a while to bring the information back to us because there were some issues with some bidding and all these other things. Just the normal course of business, and government is slow anyway. But it eventually came to us, it was passed, we approved it, and so we're just as anxious and ready to have our roads paved as everybody else in the city, because we hear from the constituents like you and tons of other people calling about roads. And so hopefully those will be done in short order. I do know, I talked to Mr. Bittis just to get an update about what was going on in the city as it relates to street paving, that they're trying to coordinate more closely with and collaborate more closely with the utilities, because there's a lot of utility work going on. The school board itself has started a project that's like 85 miles of fiber that's going to connect all the schools together. So there'll be a lot of cuts and things all over the city, obviously around all the schools to put this fiber in. And so the city, through planning, engineering, permits, is trying to coordinate as best as possible with the utilities that will be digging and doing all that over the next several months, so that it won't be where we pave the street and then somebody comes right back and cuts it. We want them to go ahead and cut it, tear it up, and do all that, and then come back. And Councilor Abbott said they also have to do the ADA work with the sidewalks, making sure the sidewalks and curb cuts and all that are ADA compliant, because I think we're still under a consent decree for that too, aren't we? So we have to do that as well. So, but that's where we are. I just want to make sure that you know, and just since we're talking about it. But thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Mr. Tate,
Yes, sir.
yeah, last night I attended in District 9 North Birmingham neighborhood meeting where Mayor Bell was in attendance. I love it when Mayor Bell comes to one of my meetings. He's invited to every one of my neighborhood meetings because Public Works shows out when he shows up. So everything looks spick and span when the mayor is coming. So, you know, I look forward to seeing the mayor at Wylam neighborhood meeting on tomorrow night. But last night the mayor mentioned that we were going to start with the ADA and sidewalk work first, and we were going to look for roads that intersected schools first. That was what he articulated at the meeting, first time I'd ever heard it. So just wanted to put that out for everyone to hear, and I'm sure it's in the meeting minutes, but the sidewalk ADA work would be first on the list. The roads where schools are is second because they want to try to complete them before school starts. And then they're going to get to the other roads that are on that list. All of us have about $900,000 worth of pavement to be done in each of the 9 districts. So we're all anxious. But if you don't have the ADA or the sidewalk work, if you don't have a road that leads to a school, then it will be 6 months before you see this work in your district, as according to Mayor Bell last night in North Birmingham neighborhood. So just wanted to put that out there.
So that basically would say that Councilor Tyson and Councilor Abbott's district would be paid last.
I bet you this was still on that mine gonna be first.
Thank you, Mr. Tate.
Thank you.
Next speaker.
Hey, Mr. President, and let me just say this to you, too, and not just to you, really for everyone, so I didn't mean to make you come back.
That's okay.
The public needs to know that the mayor proposes and the council votes. So when we are saying, well, we need the council to do certain things, because of the mayor-council form of government, if the mayor, regardless to what we pass, if it is not brought up through the mayor's office in terms of the funding attached with it, it's DOA. Okay, that's why certain things never get talked about. And I'm going to be honest with you, Councilor London, I'm glad you said that because that's hurtful for me, because that means that all of these different roads that are on our main thoroughfare, all that's not near a school, I'm thinking to myself, are you serious? I mean, all I can say is that I hope everyone who's streaming and they're watching, that means that if your car gets in disrepair as a result of these raggedy roads, that just contact the city's law department. This fine gentleman over here, Mr. Roberts, he's not over the department, but he in there. And I don't want him to come across either like, well, they trying to bash the mayor. No, it's the part we're responsible for. We're responsible for the money. Okay, it's no different than you being a nice married man. You get out here and work, you bring the check home to your wife, and while you wondering why you're in the dark is beneath you, right? Okay, so now, and if you a single family person, if the money, if you bringing the money, and you doing your part, you trying to wonder why the other part is not working. Okay, and so I'm just very frank and candid about it because, again, I wouldn't want to spend more money than we had to spend, and that's why I'm saying that this is hurtful to hear. And why would you be saying that in a neighborhood meeting as opposed to telling the general public? Because y'all waiting on the roads, and I'm waiting on these raggedy alley roads to be paved too. And alley, just like I said, some of these roads don't even belong on a main thoroughfare. They are just absolutely awful, including Robinson Drive that is in Council Rapids district. But if you go from 5 Mile Road to Walmart, it's awful. So I don't want to belabor the time. All I'm saying is to the general public, keep filing your claims until the mayor gets the roads paid. And I don't care who the mayor is. She always said me, Councilor Abbott always said, you would have been, I wonder how you would have been with Mayor Langford. I said the same.
I agree with that.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker, Magdalene Hamilton, the Ballard House. She here?